it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio today to share with you another junk journal page, like kind of morning pages that I've been doing in my junk journal made from junk, a cracker box or cereal box or something for the outside, and then pages and papers from a pile on my desk that I folded and made into signatures. So a real live junk journal. I decided to do this page that has kind of a manila color, or it's a little bit more yellow than that, on the left side, and then the right side is an envelope. And I decided I wanted to tuck a tag inside the envelope, so I'm just taping. It was kind of cut at the top, and so I put some masking tape on there to make sure that the envelope stayed, doesn't tear out at the top. The thing about junk journaling, you've got really cruddy paper. It's just paper from your printer or junk mail, or, just nothing that's been designed to do art, and definitely not mixed media on. Mixed media is about layering and lots of stuff. So you do need to think about that when you're constructing your pages. And sometimes things are torn or will tear, and you might want to put some reinforcement. Maybe you put some washi tape in the crack of the book, or maybe you, in this case, masking tape to fix the envelope. So then I had a piece of stenciled paper that had some different colors on it. These are gel prints with a stencil all on one piece of paper. I believe what happened was I was gel printing and I was rolling off the colors that I was using, and this was probably during our last month, our subtle colors last month, where we were color mixing for Art Joy of Sharing all month. We were using, subdued colors, and I was gel printing with a stencil using these colors. And that page attracted me because it was the same kind of a color family as that yellow side, that yellowy manila side, and so I decided to go with that as my palette today. So I tore up the paper and I glued it down with a Yoo-hoo glue stick. This glue stick works fine for, inside this junk journal. It's not going to be used or abused or opened very often, so I don't need to worry about using matte medium. I'm just using the glue stick in the junk journal. If you have some paper that is too thick or heavy to glue with the, if maybe it's heavy cardstock, you might want to use a craft glue or a matte medium, but really it's working fine to use this particular brand of glue stick. I will have links below the video of materials that I used, and I will make sure to link the blue fat. It starts out blue and then goes clear on the glue stick, and it's really, I used to think glue sticks would not work, and I tried different types of glue sticks, and I had this craft one that was from Elmer's, and it worked pretty well. But then after I ran out of those and couldn't find them anymore, then I started using these Yoo-hoo ones, which are actually much better than the Elmer's Extreme Craft glue stick that I was using before. So I'm really happy with this one. I have a pack of like a dozen or something that I bought on Amazon, so I'll make sure to link that. So after I was done gluing down my paper, I did do a little bit of integration with some of the colors that were used in the gel printing originally, which is that Naples yellow, and then this color called pink, which is the Hobby Lobby paint, their Master's Touch paint. It's just called pink. I think it's coral. It's really more like a very orangey pink. So then I drew with a blue Stabilo pencil on there, and I drew some vases and some flowers, and then I want to do some reverse painting. And this is just basically painting around all the shapes and painting out the background. I love to do this. I do this a lot. You've probably seen me do it a lot. But I did look at my color wheel to decide on what color I was going to do in the back. Oftentimes it's just white or black. Sometimes I glaze because I want to be able to see the pattern, and even through this blue, this turquoise blue, you can see the pattern. But this color is called Peacock, and it's a Dina Wakley heavy body paint. And it is the opposite of the orange and yellow, the like orangish yellow type colors on one side. I consider this pink color to be more of an orange than a pink. And so the yellow orange opposite side is blue green. So those are complementary colors, and you can see how painting out the background with this peacock color, and I did mix at the top, I mixed it with some sky color, which is also a Dina Wakley, to lighten it up towards the top to give kind of an ombre effect from bottom to top. But makes a big difference in how pink and orange the focal images look after I've put on that turquoise, that green blue color. It really makes the that color next to this color makes both of the colors seem more intense and bright, which is what's fun about using complementary colors with your color wheel. So then I have a stencil I haven't really used. I need to cut it apart. This was a couple months ago for the Stencil Club, and it has all these little parts, and it has some interesting patterns that kind of remind me of mid-century modern design, which is super popular right now. So I decided to use some of these patterns, and actually I had been looking at the stencil, and that's what made me decide to do vases. Because it has these shapes that seem like they could be vases, and then it has some floral shapes too. And it's pretty cool set of stencils. There's two. It's got some other botanical stuff, but I put three of the designs right onto the vases that I had drawn with different colors that complement what I'm doing there. And then I used up the rest of the paint with the intention of using this other paper to collage with. So I grabbed a few pieces that didn't really have much on them and went ahead and used up the rest of my paint through the stencil with these three patterns, the bigger dots that are farther apart, the closer together ovally dots, and then the close together bamboo stripe looking thing. And then I have some paper that has the same colors that I just used to use now on my page. So I started enhancing my floral shapes by putting on some stems, some leaves, central part of that flower, petals, just whatever I thought it needed to make the flowers more interesting and to obviously, if you've got a flower, you're probably going to have leaves. So you need to have some leaves. And I'm cutting those out, those shapes, freehand with just, scissors. No big deal. Just cutting free-form shapes and gluing them down with the glue stick. So this is kind of a combination of collage and reverse painting and stenciling. I don't know, anyway. It's fun. This is something, if you create a junk journal like this for yourself, you can work on it without the fear of ruining it. You buy this beautiful journal and you open it up and it's got all these pristine white pages on it and it's high quality and it's beautifully made, and then you fear working in it. So having something that's literally stuff that you would throw away off your desk or whatever, just, junk mail. I mean, how much of that junk do we get in, especially at election time? We just get all that card, those lightweight card things from all these different candidates, whatever. That stuff makes great junk journals, and I've made a lot of them. True junk journals. I know there's a lot of journals out there going around that are made with kits, and they call it a junk journal, but really a junk journal is made out of junk. And this one is. So I'm just adding these different bits of paper. I've got some kind of this flower on the left is just like maybe a daisy or something, and then I've got roses in the center, and then maybe some sort of a, I don't know, a straw flower or something on the right. And I'm filling them in where I need to with paper. I sort of painted over. I had drawn something there in the middle, and then I painted it over a little bit accidentally, so I'm just putting some paper over the top. You can always put on another layer in mixed media, that's the beauty of it. Just add another layer, put something on top of it, put some gesso over it if you don't like it. There isn't any wrong way to do mixed media. There's just nothing wrong about it. So after I have, I guess I still got to do my pink rosy things. For the rose shapes, I just cut little curves, like little pieces, cut a curve and then go around the out and cut outside of it and cut another curve to make like these I don't know what shape you'd call that. It's a curve with pointy ends. And I can glue those on the inside of this shape that, and then it creates what looks like these wrapped together petals like a rose or a peony or something. Probably my favorite kind of flower to do. You could get really intricate with if you wanted to, but I'm not. I'm working in a junk journal, messing around on my morning pages, so you know, not going to go too awfully crazy with it. So gluing those little bits down with the Yoo-hoo glue stick. I do have a baby wipe, and once I just like smoosh all, I go pretty hard with the glue and gets lots of glue on there. And then I put the pieces down in it, and then I smush it down with the baby wipe and get them all into contact. And I think this is pretty cute. I figure I might want to do some illustration lines because that's kind of my style. So I get out a green Stabilo all pencil. The other one I was using was blue. Stabilo, we see the black one all the time. Everyone uses the black one, but it does come in other colors. Not a lot, but there are other colors. So it's the pencil that's super water reactive and you can blend it out really well. I didn't actually blend it out today. I just used it as a color pencil. But if it gets water on it, it's going to bleed because it's very, very reactive to water. But it can also just be used as a pencil. So I went around the flowers and leaves, and then I decided to use a color brush. This is made by Pentel, and I know you've seen me use the black Pentel pocket brush one a lot. I love that pen. I love it, and it's got India ink. Well, this is more like a watercolor ink. I wanted to use the brown color, and they don't have one that's India ink that's brown in a pen. I sure wish they did, but they do have these like watercolor, water soluble ones, and so I used the brown, and it's got a flexible silicone brush on it. It's not a tip; it's a brush. Like you could fan it out, so it gives you a really nice illustrative line going thin and thick depending on how hard you press. So I do love those type of pens with those silicone. It's like the water brush. If you have a water brush, water tank brush like this one that's on the right, or a Pentel one or whatever, similar brush, just there's ink in the barrel instead of water. I don't know if those are refillable. I would assume they are if you had water soluble ink to put in it. And maybe once it runs out, I'll try putting brown India ink in it because that would be cool. But so far I haven't used it up because I don't use brown very often. So now I have a manila shipping tag and I cut it down to fit into this little envelope pocket, and then I'm going to put some ribbon on it and that will hang out, and then you can pull it in and out. And I am using those same papers that I had stenciled on earlier to use that have the same colors as what is on my page because I want it to match, and just gluing them down and making an interesting background. That one, the pink one, just has things cut out of it because I was cutting things out of it, right? You remember those little curve cut things, and I just put it on as it is because it makes an interesting pattern of the negative space. It's pretty cool. I cut the bottom with the same decorative shears that I cut off the envelope. And so it has that little kind of bumpy, curvy bottom. And I put a flower on there that I just cut out from the piece. I put a center in the flower, a stem, a leaf, and then I do some illustrative lines like I did with the brown watercolor ink pen. Ugh. I'm having a hard time expressing myself today. Okay, so then once that's done, I put a little bit of yellow at the top. Oh, here I'm doing my lines. I put like a little bit of yellow at the top because there wasn't any real yellow on there. And then I go ahead and write my journaling. You know, sometimes in an art journal, maybe you want to write some stuff. Maybe you want to write what's going on. You know, what's going on in this page? What inspired the page? What's going on in your life? And so I did that on the back of the tag, and that's like a great little place to tuck some writing if you like to write along with your art journal, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just put a word. Sometimes I write something. I did put a word on there. It says creative, and that's just a printed out word. And then I got some ribbons, and I went for that kind of the original goldish manila color and then the turquoise. Oh, and I went around the outside edge with a ink pad, little ink pad. And here I am writing my journaling, put some ribbons in it, tuck it in, and then it's done. I hope you've enjoyed this page. I like this one a lot. I really like to do florals, but I feel like everyone does florals, so I try to limit myself as to what I do with florals on my channel because everyone's doing flowers everywhere, especially in spring. But this was really fun. I enjoyed it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment or a question below, subscribe, turn on your notification bells, and you can even join my channel membership as a member for exclusive content. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.